All right. What's up, Bravely DX? Gonna get this stream shared out here from my phone because the way I have this set up, I have no room on my computer to actually like go to Twitter or anything else. Again, this thing starts in about 13 minutes. What is probably going to be the unveiling of Gen 8 and some other things, I'm sure. What's up, Demon Rage 90, Dan Gurgler, John Guerva, Ryan Lista. How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining me this morning. I am not feeling very good. My fiance isn't feeling very good either. We're having a pretty rough morning. And there's a 2-hour delay for school, so my kids are still here screaming and making noise. So sorry if you hear them. Yeah, get that there. I'm also going to throw this out on Twitter. All right. All right. Cool. We will all feel good in 30 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. We could also be really disappointed. What are your thoughts, Nate? And good morning. You just need coffee, man. Nah, no coffee for me. I don't like coffee, so that's number one. Ugh. Number two, I'm sick, so like legit have a fever right now. It's only at 101. It was at 103 2 days ago, so I guess it's coming down a little bit. Stomach pain, pukey. I'll make it through this, though. I didn't have anything to eat this morning. Just having some good old water, some aqua. Bring me all areas available. Jeez. What's up, Airmaster Neo? I also want to apologize to people on Twitch. I literally can't read Twitch chat right now, so I'm sorry. I won't be able to read Twitch chat until after this part of the stream is done. Pokemon got rid of pesos. Get better soon. Wish I had my Pokeball. Where's my Pokeball? I have a Pokeball somewhere. I don't know where it is right now. I guess I could use the old Pokeball Plus, huh? I want to upgrade. Upgrade to the accessory. Pokeball Plus. Thank you so much for your $10 Canadian Corey Bohm. Thank gosh it's not just 10 pesos. What would that even be? Would it be like 2 cents American? I don't even know. Pesos, I know, aren't. An individual pesos is not worth much. But thank you for the support, Corey. I'm here. I told you guys in the video yesterday that I would live stream it regardless of how I'm feeling. I'm not feeling good. It was very hard to get out of bed this morning, but gotta do what you gotta do. We got stuff to do here. So, oh, and of course, my Streamlabs isn't working now, so I can't well, good thing Ryan's here, because I need a mod here, because in case something goes down, I can't actually block anyone without minimizing the stream. Let's see here. Demon Rage 90, I just got off work, so I'm on my third one just to stay awake long enough to make it through the direct. I'm committed. I think Pokemon Stadium for Switch. Pokemon Stadium would be sick. So the direct itself is only 7 minutes. There are Nintendo Treehouse things happening. later today and tomorrow. Q&A sessions and other things. So we might see more of the game, or it could just be for other things. Or it could just be all of the above, because it's Treehouse and you never know with Treehouse. So I don't think I'll be live streaming the Treehouse stuff. Mostly because I don't even know when it's happening, so I have no plans to do it. But we'll see. I'll definitely be paying attention to it and sharing any big news that might come out of it that has to do with Gen 8 anyways. We don't talk a lot about Pokemon Go on the channel, so if there's like big Pokemon Go news, I probably won't touch on that too much. If there's Let's Go DLC or something, I'll talk about that, but so this stream should, it should be probably from 8, it'll be done by 8:07 or 8:08 or something like that. And then what resolution is this at? Oh, it's in HD. Okay. Hopefully this works. I know last time I made an issue and I had to switch to the Twitch stream. Alright, and then I'll go to and then I'll probably do a little bit of reactions after. Who knows? I don't plan on my stream going past 8:30. I don't feel good, but I gotta see. Pokemon Pinball on Switch confirmed. Cross your fingers for more than one game on Switch, says Mark. We'll see. Uya Nunya, good morning. Good to see you live streaming this. Thanks. Not feeling good, but trying to push through. And you put my hat on backwards, like Ash. Here's the problem with putting my hat on backwards. Here's the problem. See this? You're going to see things happening behind me because it's blue. Just like, see how this bill is white? It's not actually white. It's blue. Because I'm using a blue screen. Because my green screen side doesn't work very well. And you're just going to see through my head. What's up, Mark Greenberg? Welcome. I'm glad you could make it too, man. Well, it's an odd time. 8 a.m. Odd time in the middle of a week for a direct. But they're trying to hit with their Japanese audience, so. Looks cool with a hole on the head. I got to be the very best. Hey, Alex Boyer hit us with $8. Says, go get some lunch on me today. What do you think will be announced? For starters, the $8 you gave me, that's not going to show up to my bank for 2 months. But, I mean, in terms of budgeting, I could just take $8 out now that I plan to use 2 months from now. Anyways, whatever. Sure, I can get some lunch on you, I guess. We'll see. It depends on my stomach's feeling. I was debating on going out and getting some there's this restaurant that makes really good soup, really good chicken dumpling soup. I was debating on going out and get some. I usually get some when I'm sick. Maybe I'll use your $8 for that. Anyways, what do you think will be announced? Well, the new generation's being shown off, period. It's in the tags of the videos. Not the title of it, but like that's the next generation game. So we're going to see the starters, hence the 3 Pokeballs. I mean, 1, 2, 3 Pokeballs. We're going to see the 3 starters. We're going to probably get a title, and we're going to see something about the new gen game. I bet you we see something about Pokemon Go in there. It's 7 minutes. I would like to think it's 7 minutes on Gen 8, but when they unveil like a new Pokemon game, it's rarely like a lot, right? They only give you a little bit. Like, if you think back when like Let's Go was even unveiled, they didn't give us a ton when they first unveiled it. Now we got a whole bunch a week later because of E3 and all that, but yeah, I think we're just gonna. I mean, I'm just hopeful we see gameplay at all. I don't even know if we're gonna see gameplay. So that's one thing to try to keep in mind. So I think we'll get a base concept of the game, we'll get the starters, and we'll get a title for sure. I'm hoping we also get some sort of gameplay, but I don't know. I don't know, you know, how much work still needs to be done in the game, how much they just want to tease and then make us wait till later. I don't know. Because they could show a lot of stuff in the Pokemon Direct. Because they know a bunch of eyeballs are going to be on it for Gen 8. So that's where they could drop, you know, Let's Go DLC. That's when they could drop you know, Pokemon Go news. Or they could surprise us with a Pokemon Stadium type announcement or something like that. I don't know. The only thing I'm expecting is Gen 8 just because of the tags on the video are saying Gen 8. So... or they don't say Gen 8 specifically, but they basically have a whole bunch of tags that infer a new Pokemon game. So, Alex Boyer wants Pokemon Pinball. I mean, who knows? It could be. I have a meeting all day, so I'm really glad about the time. Nice. Nice. You got a Roadhouse on the Roadhouse Museum. Roadhouse. Oh, man, that hurt my throat. Hopefully I don't react too crazy because then I might throw up right on live stream. Oh, man. Yep, 3 minutes away. 3 of the 7 minutes will be Detective Pikachu trailer again. Yeah, they could be the Detective Pikachu trailer again, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the Detective Pikachu trailer 1 or 2. Oh, I'm out of medicine. Man, does that movie look good. It might be the best video game movie ever made at this point. It looks so good. I'm totally going there day one. I know I've thrown up on live stream before, Mark, but that was from doing shots. That was not from just actually being sick. Like I'm legit sick. I already threw up once this morning. I think my fiance threw up too. We're both sick, so our kids are healthy, it seems. So there's that. I'll super chat some more for vomit cam. Jeez. That was my shot you threw up on? Was it? Okay. I threw up. I've thrown up, I think, 3 times on stream. All of it's shots. One was a thing I lost to Eric. I lost we played a game and I lost, so I had to do 3 tequila shots in a row. And I think I threw up on the second one. I didn't even know if I made it to the third one before I threw up. Threw up one other time, do the shots. I was the only time I let myself have too much on stream. And then Robert got me too once. Ugh. I didn't make it to the... Yeah, I was pretty sure I threw up on the second one with Eric. I told you, tequila and me, man. Oh. The best video game movie ever made. They had to lift their feet up to knee height to clear that bar. See, I disagree. But then again, I don't hate video game movies as much as other people do. Like, I think the Tomb Raider movies were pretty solid. The Resident Evil movies, to me, were just excellent movies. Like, really good movies. Obviously, you guys should know my affinity of the Mario Brothers movie. Well, here we go.
Welcome to the Pokemon Direct. I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. Today, I would like to share some very special information with all of you. Pokemon trainers all around the globe have already enjoyed many adventures in the various regions of the Pokemon world. Along the way, trainers have encountered many different Pokemon, battled against countless other Pokemon trainers, and experienced stories all their own. And this year, a new Pokemon journey will begin for all of you.
Gen 8, here we go!
We've prepared a special video to welcome you to the setting of your next adventure. Please take a look.
Here we go! Hope that music's from the game. Wow. A little blurry, but I think that's the video. Okay. So... This will be the best looking part. Because this isn't game footage. Sword. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Alright. I like the names. I like the names.
Today, we are pleased to announce all new entries in the main series of Pokemon RPGs for Nintendo Switch, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. And for an introduction to the adventure that awaits you in these games, I'd like to ask this next guest to tell you more.
I'm Junichi Masuda from Game Freak, and I have been working as the producer for these titles. Right now, we at Game Freak are hard at work on the development of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. For the veteran Pokemon trainers who have experienced so many adventures with us up until now, for the new trainers who held a Pokeball for the first time in the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu game, or the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee game, and for all those out there looking to become Pokemon trainers for the first time. These games will be new entries in the Pokemon series, role-playing games that will get any player fired up and excited. Since these are new entries, naturally, you'll find that they take place in a new region, with never-before-seen Pokemon living there, and new adventures you've yet to experience. So let's turn to the director of these games, our own Mr. Omori, to hear more.
I'm Shigeru Omori from Game Freak.
Okay.
I'm working as the director for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. The setting of these games is known as the Galar region.
Is that Italy?
Galar is an expansive region with many environments,
Looks
containing idyllic countryside and contemporary cities,
Looks like
vast
Italy.
plains, and craggy snow-covered mountains.
Based on Italy. Or maybe it's based on the
people
UK.
and Pokemon live
I don't
here,
know.
and
Could be
they
the
work
UK.
together to develop the industries
I
in
gotta
the
get a
region.
look at the full map again.
Here in this region, you'll visit gyms with the newly discovered Pokemon you choose to be your first partner, aiming for the enviable and admirable title of champion. So let's get to know the Pokemon that could be your next partner. The chimp Pokemon, Grookey. This
Grookey!
mischievous Pokemon is full of boundless curiosity. The rabbit Pokemon, Scorbunny, which is always running about, bursting with energy. And the water lizard Pokemon, Sobble. It's a bit timid, shooting out attacks as it hides itself in the water. You'll choose one of these distinct Pokemon to be your trusty partner
It's a
and
bit
set out
timid.
across the Galar region on a new
Gower
adventure.
buddy. What weird starters. Okay.
Along the way, there will be many more never-before-seen Pokemon waiting to meet you and be discovered. As we work on the development of these games, our goal has been to create the greatest Pokemon experience yet. We're challenging ourselves to try new things, while still treasuring what makes Pokemon special. So we hope you'll all be looking forward to the adventures awaiting
What
you
new
in the
things?
Galar region.
What new things?
So, what did you think? Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield will be released simultaneously worldwide in late 2019.
Yeah, it'll be November. Obviously.
And
Holiday.
that's not all you'll have to look forward to in 2019. We've got plenty in the works for the Pokemon brand that we hope will delight you. Thank you all for tuning in.
But
today.
you won't tell us. What is that? What is that? You can't say that's not all you have to look forward to in 2019 and then not tell us anything. Oh man. Come on. Oh. Okay. All right. 1 second here. What is going on? This is where's my editor thing? I gotta fix this. Oh man. Filters here. Let's done with that. Done with that. On. All right, man. So outside of the ending where he's like, "Oh, that's not all you have to look forward to," and then they don't tell us anything. Man, I'm not sure what to think. So it looks good. The blurriness was probably just video compression. I hope it was just video compression. That just happens during live streams and on YouTube. So I'm not too worried about the fact that it looked blurry a little bit. But I'm not... It looks really cool. It looks new. It looks unique. It looks different. But we didn't really learn much, did we? I mean, I know I didn't expect to. We learned that we got the titles. We got to look at gameplay, which I guess I didn't expect, and we got the starters. So they went beyond what I expected. But sorry if I'm not impressed yet. We didn't really see any new functions yet. We didn't see... I mean, I don't know what I really... I mean, I didn't expect to see that stuff, though. I mean, the game itself looks good. It looks gorgeous. But, I mean, the perspective doesn't look like it's changed all that much. Like, there's parts of it that are still kind of like that top-down perspective, and then all they did was take the camera and move it a little bit down like this. So it's kind of like trying to be third person, but it didn't really look third person. The animations on the characters still looked a little stiff. Granted, we didn't see a whole bunch of animations in it, but it still looked a little stiff. The Pokemon battle stuff didn't really... the one little quick battle they showed felt very similar to the stuff I've seen in Let's Go. So, I think it looks good. I think it looks really, really good. I'm just not sure what I expected for like the first true new generation on a home console, because we're not talking about like someone said, you know, it looks phenomenal for Pokemon. It shouldn't just look phenomenal for just Pokemon. We're talking about a series that consistently sells like 10 to 20 million units every single time. I mean, this is like Rockstar level of sales. And look at the effort they put into their games. So, like, I know it looks good for a Pokemon game, but it's like, it should look it should look good for any video game, I guess is what I expect out of a new generation of Pokemon on a home console. It's not just to look good for a Pokemon. Like, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee looks good for a Pokemon game. But you can understand why that game looks the way it does. This game, it's like, it looks good. It looks great. But why doesn't it feel like they're actually putting a AAA budget behind it? Why does it, like, why doesn't it give you this feeling like Breath of the Wild had a AAA budget behind it? Why does it still feel like this is a 3DS game in HD? That's what I still feel watching that footage. This is a 3DS game in HD. That, we'll see. I got to see more of it. But a lot can still be improved. I understand a lot can still be improved, but they're not going to change the basic aesthetic. They're not going to change the viewpoints. A lot of what we see there is probably going to be... It's just like when Breath of the Wild was showed off in 2014. Didn't come out till 2017. Guess what? The game pretty much looked identical to what it looked like back in 2014. So, like, it's going to be... It's going to be a good game. It's going to sell like gangbusters. It might be the best Pokemon game ever made, for all we know. They basically stated they're trying to make it the best Pokemon game ever made. And it might accomplish that. But man, it looks... The blurriness, I'm not worried about, Daniel Bird. The blurriness was video streaming. The final game ain't gonna look high. It's gonna at least be 720p, 1080p, whatever. I'm not worried about the blurriness from the video. I'm just talking about the general look and feel of the game. Looks like an HD 3DS game. It doesn't look that much different than Pokemon Let's Go. Some more details in the environment. You know, they had some grass in there, but then it didn't look like the grass moved dynamically at all. Like in Breath of the Wild, the grass moves dynamically and naturally. It didn't look like that happens in this game. It looks like it was static grass with preset animations, and then a lot of just flat ground textures everywhere that just not something you... I mean, God, this is one of the most popular video games in the entire industry, if not the most popular video game in the entire game industry. If they can't put a AAA budget behind a game... I mean, their thought process probably, we don't have to put a AAA budget behind it because people are going to buy it anyways, which is a fair thought process. But it definitely feels like an HD 3DS game, just like a more powerful 3DS in HD. But it still looks good. Like, I don't want to crap on the game. It still looks really good. It just looks good. Like, I love the part where they said, oh, you know, this isn't in-game footage, which is clearly like a CGI cutscene. And I'm sitting there watching the cutscene, and I'm like, why can't the game look like that? Breath of the Wild almost looks like that. Why can't the game look like that? I'm probably going to end up buying it, and I'll give my thoughts on it, but initial impressions are it looks really, really good. It might be the best Pokemon game ever made, but I can't help but feel like maybe my expectations for a console Pokemon game are not met yet, are not satisfied. That what they have done with this game is basically what they always do with Pokemon games, but in HD. Did it look like a fixed camera? It looked like there were two different camera angles. There was one when he was like walking between the cliffs, and the camera was more of a top-down style. Well, maybe not completely top-down. Like you have the top-down. I think it was more like this, like held back a little bit, like we see with current Pokemon games or like Let's Go. And then there was angle when like when you didn't have the cliffs and you're like walking around a town, where it went from like here to like down here a little bit, almost third-person perspective, but not quite. And the camera wasn't following the character, so it wasn't really third-person. It was still like a fixed camera, like here, this angle, and it might just depend on where you are in the environment, depending on which angle it goes to, one of those two angles. Those are the only two angles we saw. It definitely didn't look like a free roam camera at all. They had one battle, but it was it was such a brief snippet, it's hard to judge much from the battle. Did I really expect a Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey Pokemon? Well, here's a better question for you, Emerson Charles. I obviously can't expect Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Why can't I expect that? Pokemon's a more popular franchise that makes more money than Mario and Pokemon. Why can't we expect that? Why can't we expect them to go all in on a Pokemon game and actually spend some money and hire some people and borrow people from Nintendo when you're making your most popular game ever? Like, why should we have to lower our expectations? Like, that's kind of my, like, the dream for me of having a Pokemon game on home console wasn't to have just another Pokemon game, but in HD. The dream for me is to actually take away the restrictions of handheld and do something magical with one of the most popular video game franchises in the industry. Can you imagine? If they just cookie cuttered it with Zelda and just kept giving us top-down Zeldas all the time, but in HD. That they didn't do Ocarina of Time. That they didn't do Mario 64. They just kept spitting out 2D Mario games, but in HD. They just kept spitting out top-down Zelda games, but in HD. That they never took that leap when the power was available to them, that they never took that leap. Can you imagine that those franchises never did that. Now look at what Pokemon's doing. It's not taking the leap. It's not doing that next leap. It's still stuck in the way Pokemon's always been. That's the way it feels like. It feels like Pokemon is still stuck. It's like, oh, we made a small leap in naturally progressing the top-down perspective into a 3D type environment, but we're not taking that next big leap to like really bring the franchise forward. That's what people wanted. That's what I wanted anyways. Out of Pokemon on a home console, I wanted the leap forward. The leap forward that other major franchises have taken over the years. And Pokemon is a massively popular, massively profitable. It is one of the most profitable IPs in the world. Pokemon Go is a multi-billion dollar video game, and it's a free-to-play game on your phone. Pokemon is so popular. Detective Pikachu looks like, the movie looks like it had more effort put into it than the video game. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a great game, and people are going to love it, and it might be the best Pokemon game ever made, but it doesn't feel like that next leap. That leap forward. People that love Pokemon are going to love this game, but people would have loved Ocarina of Time as a top-down game too, because that's all we had ever known. We still would have loved Ocarina of Time as a top-down game, Majora's Mask as a top-down game, but can you imagine a world where that we had those games as top-down games? Can you imagine a world where we would rather have those games as top-down games? Can you imagine a world where Mario 64 was a 2D game? So imagine that instead of Mario 64 being this more open world, free roam, 3D environment game, instead of it being what it is, can you imagine a world where it's just another 2D side scroller? Is that a world you want to exist? So the thing is, it's easy to be happy with what we have because we don't have a world where the other exists, but why can't we have the other existing? Why can't Pokemon take that leap forward? Why? And see, Pavarsky, you say, I have my expectations too high for a Pokemon game. Why is it too high for a Pokemon game? Why is Pokemon an exception? Why is one of the most popular video games in the entire world, one of the most profitable games, one of the games that has the most money to spend? Why is my expectations too high to expect them to do the same leap forward that Mario, Zelda, and freaking Metroid did? Metroid made the leap. Metroid, a series, oh my gosh. When Metroid Prime happened, the series that only ever sold, the best-selling game of Metroid sold 2.5 million. You're telling me Metroid can make the leap, but Pokemon can't? Get out of here with expectations being too high. Expectations being too high for Pokemon. If Metroid can make the leap, get out of here with the excuses. Game Freak needs to step the F up and make the leap. Game Freak is resting on their laurels and milking people for money. They're making games as cheaply as they can. They're too afraid. They talked in the thing about we're doing new things and new risks. Sure, with mechanics. How about with the overall game itself? Make the risk. Make that leap. Do what the rest of Nintendo's IPs have done. All of them have made a leap forward. Heck, they even tried it with Donkey Kong. They tried taking Donkey Kong into 3D with Donkey Kong 64. Like, seriously, my impression shouldn't be it's a 3DS game in HD. Why should we, not expect them to make a leap forward? So, if my expectations were too high, then that means we must all think very, very low of Game Freak. That we think so low of Game Freak that we shouldn't ever expect them to do something with Pokemon. That, Pokemon Stadium almost looked better. It's going to end up being a great game. And it might end up being the greatest Pokemon game ever made. And I'm probably going to enjoy it, aspects of it. But I'm always going to have this pit, this thing in the pit of my stomach where it's like, this was the time for Pokemon to take a leap. And it didn't do it. And if it didn't do it now, is it ever going to? And that's kind of what's disappointing about it. If it didn't make the leap now, when the hell is it going to? It's just not. They're just going to keep regurgitating the way they always make Pokemon games, keep doing it the same way, and just change mechanics up and hope that that's enough for people to keep buying it in the tens of millions. And it probably will be for a while. But when are we going to get to the point where we expect Pokemon to do something great again, to do something more, to be more than what it's always been, right? We didn't, like, no one expected, Ocarina of Time to be what it was until Nintendo showed us, right? So we just thought, oh, top-down Zelda. And then they gave us something we didn't know we wanted, right? So we had these expectations of like, Mario, Donkey Kong. Let's see here. Zelda, I already talked about. Metroid. I'm trying to think of some other franchises that made this leap too from Nintendo's side of things. I feel like Kirby tried something once too. Star Fox, obviously, although Star Fox is always kind of a different game, but then they tried something different with Star Fox Adventures. It's just, it's a little disappointing to me that Game Freak is just afraid of doing what it takes to take that leap. Yeah, it's going to take a larger development team. Don't act like you don't have money. Okay, the Pokemon franchise is one of the most profitable IPs in all of gaming. You can't tell me you don't have money to do it. You can't tell me Nintendo won't give you some of their development, some of their team to help you figure out how to do it. That they couldn't have some of their Zelda team or some people from Monolith Soft or some people from the Odyssey team. That they couldn't have someone come over and help you figure this stuff out if you wanted them to. Nintendo literally has a massive stake in the Pokemon franchise. You can't tell me they wouldn't bend over backwards to help Game Freak out if they couldn't figure out the development themselves. The issue isn't figuring it out. The issue is Game Freak not wanting to do it. The issue is Game Freak knows a certain way they make Pokemon games. They're going to keep making Pokemon games that way until people stop buying them. They're not going to do like what Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and Donkey Kong and all these franchises did, that they were already selling well and had no reason to make that leap except wanting to. Except Miyamoto and other developers at Nintendo being like, we want to take that next leap. We want to take these games beyond what they've always been. I'm not seeing that with this game. I'm not seeing we want to take Pokemon beyond the realm of what Pokemon has always been. We want to do the next big thing. I'm just seeing it's more of the same. It's just more of the same in a HD world with an extra camera perspective and probably some new mechanic changes because that's what they do with new gens. They add new mechanics. I'm not saying that it needed to be open world, by the way. For some people, they say, oh, you're saying open world? I never said that it needed to be open world. Just something out of your comfort zone that really upheaves the franchise into a new, like an actual new generation of gamers, rather than they're kind of just catering to the same old Pokemon gamers they already have. But we'll see. Got to see more of it, of course. I know a lot can change, but the base concept of the game isn't changing. So, how long is usually the Pokemon Gen length after a new one drops? Well, you get the two, and then sometimes you get a third one. Or if you don't get a third one, then you get like another remake. It usually takes like 3 to 4 years after one. Like, think about this: we're getting a new gen this year. The last new gen was Sun and Moon back in 2017, so that was 2 years. Although I think the gen was rushed a little bit just to get a new gen out on Switch, so I think the next new gen will probably be 2022. I think could be 2020, 2021, but probably 2022 before we get another new gen. Kirby's Air Ride, is that the one I was thinking of? The one where they did something different? Ryan Lee says, I don't understand what you want that is different from what we are getting. I don't know what I want. Here's the thing. I don't know what I want. What I can say is I know what I don't want. I don't want a game that looks like a 3DS game but in HD. Yes, I understand people could be like, I don't know how you can see the 3DS game. Like, look at the visuals. They couldn't do that with the grass. They couldn't have that many details in the background. Yeah, they're taking advantage of the fact they have more power. All they would have to do is release a more powerful 3DS, and this would be the game you get. I wanted something that felt like a console-level jump, like Ocarina of Time did, like Mario 64 did, like Metroid Prime did, like Donkey Kong 64 did. Like, the next jump, not just more of what we already get all the time. It just feels like more of the same. Nothing about this that we've seen so far feels like it's this big leap over what Pokemon's always been. It's just more of what Pokemon is. And a lot of people are going to be really, really happy with that and really, really excited for it. And they have every right to be. I mean, as I said, it could be the best Pokemon game ever made. But for me, like, I feel like I've been waiting for this since the 90s. I've been waiting for this jump. Closest we ever got was Stadium and Coliseum. Like, I've been waiting for the jump. And this doesn't feel like it's it. This just feels like it's just more Pokemon like we always get. Just another Pokemon game coming out. Just like Sun and Moon back in 2017. Just another Pokemon game. I don't want it to be just another Pokemon game. This is the first Pokemon game coming to a console-like system. Sorry that I have expectations that it actually deliver a kind of leap that we've seen every other Nintendo IP basically attempt at some point. Why can't they treat Pokemon like a AAA franchise? That's kind of the feeling I get. I feel like it's not being treated. This is going to sound like blasphemy. Does Yokai Watch 4 look like a bigger leap than this? I don't play the Yokai Watch franchise. I've seen aspects of it. Hey, thank you, Daniel Bears. Let's Go impressed you more with its debut trailer. Well, the thing with Let's Go is, yes, it looked like a 3DS game, but then you saw like the new mechanics and all, and that's the thing. The new mechanics that might be in this game could just knock our socks off, and then maybe some of my complaints will be drawn back a little bit. Because yes, Let's Go is literally an HD 3DS game, but at least they showed off the mechanics in the first one, and the mechanics really impressed. At least impressed me. I know they didn't impress everyone. But I mean, that it is weird that they don't treat it like some of you guys play Yokai Watch. I remember when the Yokai Watch 4 trailer was shown off, that I was like, okay, that actually looks interesting in comparison to what I've seen of Yokai Watch in the past. So Yokai Watch 4, which is definitely not made with a AAA budget, to me looked like a more impressive leap. Now, it doesn't mean it's a better game. Not at all. Doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean it's a better game, but it felt to me like it was a bigger leap. Just looking at the trailers of that versus older gameplay of Yokai Watch I've seen. But it also could be because Yokai Watch itself hasn't really advanced as much as Pokemon has over the years. So that's like a give or take, to be fair, perspective. But still, at least because of the lack of advancement, it looks like such a huge leap. Whereas this doesn't feel like that big of a leap to me. It just looks like HD Pokemon. And HD Pokemon isn't impressive to me. The name's really cool, though, yeah. Sword and Shield's awesome. I like the name. I like that a lot. The only way they could have got me better is if it was like Dragons and Wizards or something like that. Like right up my alley. Sword and Shield, Dragons and Wizards, high fantasy. I love that stuff. So, I like the name. I don't know how you would call, I don't know, a new Pokemon class called Wizards. It'd be sweet. Zelda was stuck in a rut for a long time as well. Well, here's the thing. Zelda, the way that Zelda progressed is, so they had the top-down game, right? And then they tried something new right away. They actually, they didn't even take, the N64. They tried something new instantly. They went side-scrolling, okay? So they already tried something fresh in the second game ever made. Pokemon didn't do that. Zelda did that. In the like when you say, oh, Pokemon was stuck in a rut, it literally did something new in Zelda 2. Ironically, Super Mario Brothers, after not like the Mario Bros game, but like after Super Mario Brothers on the NES, it also did something new too with Super Mario Brothers 2 because it was a completely different game and they reskinned it to Mario. Anyways, they did something new as well. So Mario and Zelda might not be a good example for that, but even then, they did Zelda 2, and then they came back with like Link's Awakening and A Link to the Past and kind of set the foundation of what a top-down Zelda is. And then you know what happened after those two games? Ocarina of Time. It didn't take that long for it to change. It literally went from 86 to 96, and we were seeing teases of the new, different Zelda game. 10 years. That's all it was. Pokemon's been around for how long? What anniversary are we celebrating today? How long's Pokemon been around for? It only took 10 years for the big leap for Zelda. Or 10 years to start seeing the big leap for Zelda, I should say. You know, it took 12 to actually come out. It's okay. It's still going to be a good game. It's still going to be a good game. I'm not doubting how good the game is. I know I might feel like I am. I'm just let down a bit in that I don't know what I wanted it to be, but I know I didn't want it to be this. Even though the environments look good, it looks crisp, it looks fresh, the new Pokemon look good, the brief little snippet of a fight looked all right. I mean, it reminded me more of a Let's Go fight, but again, it's whatever. I don't know what I expected from the battle system per se. I don't know what I expected from the game. I just expected it to have a feeling of them actually wanting to take Pokemon, like take that big risk. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least like Donkey Kong 64, you can argue didn't work out for them. That's why we've gone back to Donkey Kong Country, right? So you can argue that sometimes the risk doesn't work out, but at least take the risk. Take the leap of faith and try something. But they don't want to because it's such a high-selling IP that they're just like, oh, we don't want to take the risk. We just want to sit on our mountains of cash. I mean, Dragalia Lost looks a little bit a little more ambitious. Heck, Town might be more ambitious from Game Freak. Yeah, dude. Back in the day, Kirby's Air Ride graphics were insane. Back in the day. I mean, I know today they don't look like much, but back then, like, it was like, whoa. It doesn't look like a 3DS game. It looks like an RPG. I mean, the 3DS games are RPGs, so I don't know what to tell you. Go watch Dragon Quest XI footage. That's an RPG too. Go watch that and then watch the Pokemon trailer again. Tell me, which one looks like a current generation, RPG, and which looks like just an old school RPG in HD? I know some people might say, what about Octopath Traveler? There's Octopath Traveler. It's been a while since we've had a game like that from a AAA studio. So there's been a gap. There's been a whole bunch of other games made in different styles. So it felt okay to go back to that from Square Enix. Even though, like even with Bravely Default, like we've had Final Fantasy 15 and other games come out in between. So it felt cool going back to that style. But we're not going back to a style. We're just staying in the same style. Does that make sense? Like we're just staying in the same way that things are. How do you leap Pokemon? I don't know. That's the problem. Unlike Zelda or Mario, how do you leap a collectathon? Mario 64 is a collectathon. So what the hell are you talking about? Mario 64 is a collectathon. The entire point of playing the game is to collect everything. It's a collectathon. You're asking me, how do you leap forward an RPG based around battling and capturing things? I don't know. Yokai Watch is doing it, so I don't know. How do you do it? I don't know. I don't have to have the answer. That's not for me to figure out. It means that, to me, anyways, a Game Freak lacks ambition and creativity in leaping forward something. I understand. Miyamoto's a special person. He was there for the big leap for Mario and Zelda, and I get that they don't have a Miyamoto for Game Freak, but it feels like they should. Nah, if it looked like Yokai Watch, you would complain the same way. No, okay, Ryan. What I was saying is you got to keep the perspective. Obviously, Pokemon can't look like Yokai Watch. It had the same complaints for Pokemon. The point I was saying is that Yokai Watch, you got to look at the IP. Okay, go look at Yokai Watch 3. Go watch footage of Yokai Watch 3, and then watch footage of Yokai Watch 4. It's a massive leap forward for Yokai Watch. Okay, what Yokai Watch 4 is doing is not a leap for Pokemon. Because Pokemon's already been doing a lot of that for a while, right? Pokemon has advanced past what Yokai Watch was advancing at. So Yokai Watch 4 would not be impressive for Pokemon, but it is impressive for Yokai Watch. That's my point. They took a leap. Pokemon is just doing more of the same. We just got an HD Pokemon game. And beyond, them actually taking advantage of the fact there's more power, so there's more visual effects going on, it doesn't look a whole lot different. It really doesn't. Even the way the characters run, it still looks like stiff animations. I know that can be fixed over time, but is it really going to? Because it just looks like what Pokemon always looks like. The huge racing game with Kirby, but crazy looking graphics. Yeah, the graphics on that was insane. And I'm not even just talking from like a visual perspective, right? Because they're obviously still going to go with anime style, and it's still going to look very much like Pokemon, but just something, I don't know. Just something risky. This feels safe. This feels like a safe game. If they make the battle like the first Digimon game or the Pokken tournament, that would be interesting to see. I don't know about Pokken tournament. That might be a little intense. The Digimon battle system might have been interesting. And again, we haven't really seen the battle system outside of like 2 people doing what they did. Fire Soul, Let's Go literally had no good new mechanics from Sun and Moon. No, it had its own good new mechanic in capturing Pokemon. I know a lot of people hate it, but I actually really like it. It's my favorite part of the game, is capturing Pokemon. I love it. I loved it way more than the old system, even though I'm pretty sure Gen 8's going back to the old system. Of course it's going to. But just like I think it's got random encounters again. I think that was confirmed. Someone mentioned it was confirmed it's got random encounters. I expected it to have random encounters. I wish that it didn't. I wish it would have kept the Pokemon in the overworld thing. But definitely from the footage we saw, it didn't look like there was Pokemon in the overworld. So that kind of sucks too. 2 of the things I loved about Let's Go, and we get neither of them in this game. But oh well. I didn't really expect anything from Let's Go to be carried over. And it looks like the people who hated Let's Go should be happy with that. Looks like Let's Go had 0 influence on the game, just like I thought it would. I'm not saying Yokai Watch is better than Pokemon. I was just saying that Yokai Watch 4 is a bigger leap for Yokai Watch than this game is for Pokemon. The starters looked kind of generic. The starters did have kind of a samey feel to them at first. But I don't know. I mean, like if you go back through Pokemon starters, there was always like a unique feeling to each one. This time around, I don't want to complain too much about the starters. I think before I can complain about the starters, I got to see what they evolve into and see all their evolutions. Because who knows? Maybe like they went kind of basic with the first phase, but then the second and third phases are crazy awesome. So I mean, I could deal with that then. Like it's kind of like way back in the day, like Bulbasaur's face and Squirtle's face are very similar, but as they evolve, there's more and more differences between them. I think I need to rewatch both trailers now. Both trailers, what, for Yokai Watch 4? I just watched the Yokai Watch 4 trailer this morning. It's not about if this trailer looks better than the Yokai Watch 4 trailer. It's about what Yokai Watch 4 looks like compared to Yokai Watch 3. You're missing the point, Ryan. It's not about how Yokai Watch 4 compares to this. It's how Yokai Watch 4 compares to Yokai Watch 3. Compared to how this compares to Let's Go. And then how this compares to Sun and Moon. Twitter reaction seems mixed right now. I figured it was going to be mixed because I'm sure the feeling I have is I'm not alone in this feeling. I'm not alone in feeling that some of the biggest hype behind Gen 8 for Switch was first ever Pokemon game on a home console. And the expectations behind that being some sort of new leap forward. I'm sure I'm not alone in that expectation. Granted, to the Pokemon company's credit, they did warn us. If you remember back, some people didn't pay attention because they just didn't pay attention to Let's Go. But during Let's Go's development cycle, before it came out, they talked about how Let's Go was being made for you to play in front of your TV. Generation 8 was being made for you to play on the go. That should have been a telltale sign to you that they were making Gen 8 like a 3DS game. And some people were like, oh, well, because Let's Go looks like an HD 3DS game, then obviously it must be the opposite for the next one. It's like, no. Look at what they said. They were making it for portable. They were making this next generation Pokemon game to be portable, which should have upset people at the time because it meant that they were ignoring the fact that Switch can be a home console to just treat it like a 3DS. It should have upset people back then that they were saying Gen 8 was going to be built for portable, which means they were ignoring the fact that Switch can be played on a TV. It should have upset people, but it didn't because everyone was mad about Let's Go. Everyone was mad about Let's Go. And now we see it and it's like, yeah, no, it's just like they're treating it like it's another 3DS. They're treating the Switch like a 3DS. Like a new 3DS. And for some people, that's going to be fine, and they're going to love it. And I'm sure I'm going to end up enjoying it. Based on my experience with Let's Go, I'm sure I'm going to end up enjoying Gen 8. Is it wrong? I don't think it's wrong of me to want something more than what Pokemon's always been, is it? Is it wrong of me to want something more than what Pokemon's always been? To ask them to at least take the risk? Even if it doesn't work out? I mean, this is in a world where we're not getting Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Snaps or Pokemon Coliseum, where we're not getting these more original, ambitious Pokemon games. We're not getting them. So is it so much to ask to like have them try it with the one Pokemon game we do get? I mean, I know we get mystery dungeons and other things like that, but those don't, even Pokemon Quest, but those don't really feel ambitious, right? They feel like cut back kind of games. Like Pokemon Snap felt ambitious. Pokemon Stadium and Coliseum felt ambitious. This just feels like, okay, it's another Pokemon game. Looks good. Moving on. I mean, at least I really like the name. Sword and Shield is pretty BA, I gotta say. Sword and Shield is BA. Emerson Charles, HD Pokemon isn't impressive to you, yet you have no idea what would impress you. I already have HD Pokemon. Have you played Let's Go? I have HD Pokemon. Why should HD... Here's a question. HD is just a resolution. Something being an HD doesn't make it impressive. I'm sorry to say, like, I like pixel counting and all that, but something being an HD doesn't mean it's impressive. Yeah, sweetie? We need help because you get us on the bus. All right, I'll come up. All right, well, I gotta go. I'll probably do a video on this later. Just to do like a little standalone. I don't need a 4K Pokemon. See, the resolution isn't... Anyways, I got to go get my kids ready to go to school. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll probably do a standalone video on this later where I talk about my feelings on this. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of hate. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of love. I don't know. It's going to be a divisive video, just like I think this trailer was a divisive trailer. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.